Hi Blues, this is Saumit Talks Chelsea and welcome back to another Transfer Talk video on my channel. So the last couple of days have been really fruitful for all Chelsea fans. First, we confirmed Sterling, who has become the first signing of the Todd Boehly era, and we are really close to even confirming Koulibaly. Kalidou Koulibaly has completed his medical in London and is currently travelling to LA. He will be confirmed either today or max by tomorrow. So it's been a fantastic couple of days for Chelsea fans worldwide. But nonetheless, the transfer drama doesn't stop at Chelsea. There have been some breaking stories about players who have been linked with Chelsea. So like always, without much further ado, let's get started. So Blues, the first player that we'll be discussing in today's transfer talk video is none other than Cristiano Ronaldo. Before I give my particular views on this player, let's look at some of the latest news regarding him. Let's go. So Blues, Fabrizio Romano first came out with this news about Cristiano Ronaldo's transfer. He says that Thomas Tuchel has decided against Cristiano Ronaldo signing as things stand. Jorge Mendes had talks with Todd Boehly, but final decision has always been up to the manager. Chelsea are now focused on different deals. Tuchel isn't keen on Cristiano Ronaldo signing. Also, Absolute Chelsea came out with this tweet from Mike Keegan DM, who's the sports news correspondent for Sports Agenda editor at Mailsport, and he says that following discussions over Cristiano Ronaldo, Chelsea head coach Thomas Tuchel wants to focus on the team rather than the individual. He believes Raheem Sterling better fits the bill, and also he says that there was a view that the arrival of Cristiano Ronaldo may have potentially stolen some of the limelight from Raheem Sterling, whom Chelsea view as a marquee signing and dressing room leader. So Blues, now coming to what are my thoughts regarding this Ronaldo transfer. Personally, I think this is absolutely crazy. Never in a million years would I have thought that Ronaldo would be available to Chelsea, but Chelsea would be rejecting him. Cristiano Ronaldo is 37 years old and he had joined Manchester United last season for a reputed fee of around 20 to 25 million euros, and he scored 18 goals in the Prem last season, which I think is the second or the third highest. The highest was I think Salah and Son, and I think Ronaldo is second with 18 goals. So yeah, he had an absolutely stellar season in the Prem last season. But even with Ronaldo, United have struggled a lot last season. They finished in sixth place, earning them a Europa League spot, which I think is definitely something which Ronaldo wouldn't have wished for. The thing with Ronaldo is, when you have him in the team, you don't expect him to press a lot. And that was one problem which United had last season. The fans felt that with Ronaldo in the team wasn't pushing hard enough. And I think that is somewhere where United really struggled last season. And that's why they finished sixth. From a business standpoint, I think this would be an excellent deal. Once a club signs Ronaldo, just think of the sponsorship deals and the new fans they would be getting. Ronaldo is an absolute superstar on social media. So if you sign him, you'll get so many fans. But at the same time, Tuchel wants to build a legacy at Chelsea. It's not about just one player. He wants the team to perform as a whole. So Ronaldo, in that aspect, isn't a good choice. And with respect to the striker options that we have at Chelsea currently, we will be having Kai Havertz and also the returning Armando Broja, who had a good loan spell at Southampton last season. So with these two strikers, I definitely think there are other areas which you need to prioritize first. We already have Sterling, who will be playing on wings, and even Koulibaly in the defense. But yeah, we're even looking at even Kimpembe in the defense, and maybe one wing back, and if possible, even one more attacker. So at this moment of time, I think it's highly unlikely that Chelsea go in for Ronaldo. But let's keep a watch out on this story, and let's see where Ronaldo ends up during the transfer window. So Blues, now let's move on to the next segment of today's transfer talk video. The next segment would be about Nathan Ake, a Manchester City player who Chelsea are targeting in the defending position. Let's look at some of the latest developments. So Blues, David Ornstein came out with this breaking news about Nathan Ake, and he says that Nathan Ake is staying at Manchester City. Chelsea showed a strong interest, but City would only sell if valuation is met. That hasn't happened, and mutual decision taken for 27-year-old Dutch defender to remain and play key part in Pep Guardiola's plans. Absolute Chelsea also brought this news from Nizar Kinsella, who says that City have blocked Chelsea's move for Nathan Ake, and also Chelsea had agreed personal terms with Nathan Ake, but the deal is off. So Blues, now coming to what are my thoughts regarding this particular news about Nathan Ake. Even if he had missed out on Ake, I wouldn't have been too sad. Chelsea fans know that Nathan Ake is a good player, but I don't think he's at that elite level that we need at Chelsea. We already have defenders like Thiago Silva, and with incoming Kalidou Koulibaly, I think a backline would be really strong. We should also not forget that we have young defenders like Trevor Chalobah and even Levi Colwill, who had an excellent season in Huddersfield in the Championship. So I definitely think we have good enough cover, and instead of buying three defenders in this transfer window, we can maybe look at just two and maybe spend the rest of the money in some other positions like maybe wing back cover, because we know last season we had been really struggling with both Reece James and Chilwell being injured for large parts of last season. I think it's definitely pivotal to find good backups. Also, with the likely departures of Azpilicueta and Alonso, we definitely need cover on the wing back position. So I think this might be a blessing in disguise in two ways. First would be that with this block move of Eke, I think now Tuchel will have to give Colwill opportunity at Chelsea. Colwill has been a really promising player and his performances last season have been outstanding. We have seen how well Trevor Chalobah has developed in the past season, and I think if Colwill is given the opportunity, he could also show his potential and his skills. And secondly, we could now spend about 40 to 45 million on some other positions. So yeah, overall, I think this wouldn't be too bad that Chelsea have invested on Nathan Ake. So let's see where Chelsea invests this new money. So Blues, it looks like Nathan Ake's move from Man City to Chelsea has completely fallen through over disagreements over the player's valuation and also that Guardiola has been able to convince Nathan Ake to stay at Man City. This only means that Chelsea have to reignite their interest in Jules Kounde from Sevilla. Let's take a look at the latest reports regarding this. So Blues, this news has been brought forward by Nathan Gissing, who is the owner of CC Fan page on Instagram, and he says that Chelsea are reworking on the signing of Jules Kounde from Sevilla, with the deal being driven by Todd Boehly and co. It is a situation to keep an eye on. The main targets are Jules Kounde and Presnel Kimpembe. Also, Pice brought this news from Nathan Gissing. He says that Kounde wasn't Tuchel's main target, but would still like to add him to his squad. Three centre-back signings will affect Colwell's future, who has good chances of leaving if Kounde is signed. Aspilicueta will be given the green light to depart the club. So Blues, it looks like Jules Kounde is destined to sign for Chelsea. If you guys remember, we had first made contacts for Kounde last season, but there was a difference over valuation. Sevilla were demanding somewhere close to 60 million euros for him, but Chelsea were only prepared to sell out about 40 to 45 million for him. So there was a big difference, and at the end, the deal completely fell through. But now, with the change of ownership, there has been a complete shift in the way Chelsea operate. Earlier, it was just the board who was deciding the signings, but now the new owners want the manager to choose the signings, and they're only buying players that he wants. And it looks like with the failure of Nathan Ake, Jules Kounde's interest could be reignited. As per the latest report, Tuchel still favours Jules Kounde, and I think he could be a good fit at Chelsea. We know that we still need cover over the wing back positions, and Jules Kounde can play two positions. He can play as a right centre back, and he can also play as a right wing back, where he is ranked highly among interceptions, and also he has good ball carrying capacity. The only drawback for Jules Kounde could be his height because of the physicality and how difficult aerial duels are in the Premier League. But I think under the guardianship and leadership of Thiago Silva and Kalidou Koulibaly, he could really improve his game. Also, this clears the way for Cesar Azpilicueta to finally leave Chelsea after 9 years. So let's see if this time Chelsea are finally able to buy Jules Kounde. Let's keep our fingers crossed. So Blues, that's all the transfer news I wanted to cover in today's Transfer Talk video. I really hope you enjoyed today's video. Before leaving, I wanted to request you guys to give this video a like, click on the subscribe button if you haven't already, and turn on your bell notifications so you won't miss out on any of my future uploads. Additionally, you can consider following me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is @SaumitTalkCFC, so you can follow me there and stay in touch with all of my latest tweets. Until next time, take care, Blues, and see you soon. Goodbye.